In Sooso village, the womanhood festival had always been a thing of pride. It was the one season when the whole village moved as one. Women rising before dawn, men clearing the square, children running errands with excitement in their steps. For generations, young girls were welcomed into womanhood with songs, food, and ancestral prayers. It had never been feared, never questioned. Adanna had always been at the center of it. Long before the drums sounded, she would be awake, firewood crackling under heavy pots. Women brought ingredients to her without being asked. Girls passed through her hands one by one, wrappers adjusted, beads tied properly, hair smoothed, quiet blessings whispered close to their ears. This was how it was done for generations, and Adanna upheld her duty with grace. She was respected by all. The village prepared as it always did. Laughter spilled into the paths. The girls, nervous and proud, danced until their feet ached. Drums beat late into the night. Food was shared freely. When it ended, people returned home tired, satisfied, full. Adanna slept beside her daughter Nana, listening to her steady breathing, grateful for another festival done well. 3 days later, the screaming began. One girl did not wake up. By afternoon, another followed. By evening, 5 mats lay empty. They were healthy girls, strong, laughing just days before. No sickness had passed through the village. No warning had come. They slept and did not rise again. Panic tore through Sooso. Mothers beat their chest until their voices broke. Fathers demanded answers no one could give. Elders argued openly in the square. This had never happened before, not once. The priest was called. Elder Okoro arrived measured and calm, listening more than he spoke. He examined nothing, touched nothing. After a long silence, he said only, "This is not ordinary death. If it is handled wrongly, it will return." He ordered the girls taken to the shrine immediately. No delays, no questions. Fear moved faster than doubt. The bodies were carried away before families could gather themselves, buried before grief could settle properly. The village mourned, but uneasily. Days passed. No sickness followed. No explanation came. Whispers replaced mourning. Some said the ancestors were angry. Others blamed a curse that had slept too long. No story satisfied anyone. Adanna stopped sleeping. She replayed the festival endlessly. The cooking, the prayers, the girls' faces as they ate, as they laughed. Nothing stood out. Nothing made sense. And yet, something refused to leave her chest. One evening, she went to see the priest. She chose her words carefully, her voice low. "What you gave me to add to the food," she said, not looking at him. "It was safe, wasn't it?" The priest stared at her for a long moment, then he laughed, not loudly, but sharply. "Are you accusing yourself?" he asked, "because that is what people will hear." The smile left his face. He said quietly, "You must never repeat this question. You know what happens to women people fear." Adanna left with her heart pounding, shame and terror mixing in her throat. That night, she did not sleep. From her doorway, she watched the path near the forest. Long after the village had gone quiet, she saw figures moving where no one should be. Men she did not recognize, speaking briefly with the priest before disappearing into the dark. She stayed awake until dawn. By morning, the fear had settled into something heavier than imagination, because the festival would return, and next time, her daughter Nana might stand among the girls. As the next festival approached, Sooso village felt different. Excitement had been replaced by memory. Women still woke before dawn, but their laughter was careful. Mothers braided their daughters' hair as if trying to memorize their faces. Even joy felt fragile. Fear sat quietly in Adanna's chest. When Elder Okoro returned, he behaved as always, praised her devotion, and placed the familiar bundle in her hands. "You know what to do," he said. That night, Adanna did not sleep. She stared at the small bottle of powder, remembering the dead girls and the question that had nearly cost her life. At dawn, she made a choice. She cooked as usual, but the substance never touched the food. She buried it far from the fire, far from all eyes. Throughout the festival, she watched the girls eat, dance, and laugh, especially Nana. Nothing happened. That night, Adanna held her daughter and cried with relief. 3 days later, Nana collapsed. Then another girl, then another. By sunset, the village knew this was no coincidence. When Elder Okoro arrived, his voice was cold. The evil has grown stronger. These girls must be taken to the evil forest. His eyes settled on Adanna. Understanding struck her. This was not about spirits, it was about silence. She clung to Nana, refusing to let go, but the priest spoke calmly. She resists because she brought this upon us, he said calmly. Ask her why she doubted the ritual. Ask her why she questioned the ancestors, turning doubt into accusation. Fear did the rest. Adanna released her grip. The girls were taken. And when night fell, Adanna followed quietly. Deep in the forest, the chants stopped. There were no graves, only covered carts, strange men, and chains. The girls were being handed over. Adanna screamed with all the strength she had. The village came running. The truth spilled into the open. The men were seized and the girls were rescued. Elder Okoro confessed. The powder was a drug that kept the girls in deep sleep for hours. But after Adanna questioned him, he acted alone, adding it to the ritual oil. Nana had been targeted to silence her mother. The villagers listened in horror. He was banished into the forest, his accomplices with him. The shrine was cleansed and a new priest was chosen under strict customs. The festival remained. No girl died again, no girl vanished. Sooso village learned too late that tradition is not always truth. Evil survived not because it was powerful, but because it was protected by silence and fear. And from that day on, the village understood one thing. Anything that cannot be questioned is dangerous.